Liam, my wife's best friend, just smirked and rattled the dice in his hand. About a wild one. I bet none of you have ever played this. He looked straight at me, his eyes full of challenge, savoring the sudden silence that fell over the room. I've shaved Chloe for her. Then, he added deliberately, down there, the bikini line. It was her first time wearing a swimsuit, and she was too scared to do it herself. My wife, Chloe, blushed and playfully slapped his arm. Oh, stop it. What are you even talking about? Liam seized the opportunity, grabbing her hand. See, she's still shy about it. The room erupted in a chorus of laughter and whistles. No one looked at me, or rather, everyone was watching my reaction from the corner of their eye. I just smiled. I picked up the unopened bottle of whiskey from the table. Everyone probably thought I was going to make a toast. I walked over to Liam. He leaned back, looking up at me smugly. I twisted off the cap and tilted my wrist. The amber liquid cascaded down over his perfectly styled hair. The smile on his face froze. A scream pierced the air. He shot up from the sofa, his expensive shirt soaked and clinging pathetically to his body. Chloe jumped to her feet, too, a look of pure shock on her face. Joel, are you insane? I casually placed the empty bottle on the table with a dull thud. Then I slowly wiped my hands. Sorry, my hand slipped. You could have heard a pin drop in that private lounge. Chloe immediately grabbed a handful of napkins and frantically tried to wipe Liam's face, shielding him behind her. The gesture was more powerful than any words. Liam's eyes were red, his voice cracking like a child's. Bro, I know I took the joke too far, but you can't humiliate me like this. I mimicked his earlier tone, feigning surprise. Oh, humiliate you? I thought we were playing a game. Otherwise, I continued, why would I pick a moment like this with everyone here to liven things up? Chloe's face went from pale to flushed and back again. This isn't a game. Perhaps the smile on my face sent a chill down her spine. A few seconds later, her tone softened as she tried to smooth things over. All right. It's over. Liam just has a big mouth. You're a grown man. Why get so worked up over it? I picked up my suit jacket from the sofa. I'm going home. I looked at her. You can come with me or you can stay and help him clean up. I presented her with a choice right there in front of everyone. Liam, now wrapped in a dry towel a friend had given him, spoke up from behind Chloe. Chloe, you should go with him. He's pissed. If you stay, it'll just make him misunderstand us even more, right? With one sentence. He absolved himself of all blame. I laughed and turned back to look at him. The only one who will be misunderstood is the one who touched something that didn't belong to him. Even though they kept saying how long ago it was. A wave of nausea washed over me. Chloe followed me to the elevators. She didn't say a word, but I could feel her suppressed rage. The floor numbers descended one by one. Finally, she couldn't hold it in any longer. After we got married, the only man in my life has been my father. She burst out. Liam is family. We grew up together. Is it so wrong for me to introduce you to my family? Joel, what the hell is your problem? After her tirade, she deflated like a punctured balloon and lowered her head. The parking garage was silent, save for the sound of our breathing. In the distance, the valet called was approaching on a foldable electric scooter. I took a deep breath. I told myself not to argue with someone who was, for all intents and purposes, completely clueless. It was pointless. The next morning, the sizzle of frying eggs came from the kitchen. Chloe emerged, wearing one of my white button-down shirts and carrying a plate, a smile on her face. Morning, honey, come get some breakfast. I made your favorite sunny side up. She'd always been a lightweight, but she sobered up astonishingly fast. That's why yesterday she had been clinging to my arm, whining sweetly. Honey, please come with me. What if I drink too much and some creep try something? A reunion with old friends always meant heavy drinking. But I hadn't expected to meet a new family member I'd never heard of. The first thing he said when he saw me was a smile. So you're Joel? Much handsomer than your pictures. Looks like Chloe's taste hasn't let me down after all. His very first words were a declaration of ownership. I didn't respond to Chloe's cheerful act. She followed behind me, plate in hand, her voice laced with a cautious apology. Honey, I'm so sorry. Yesterday was my fault. I drank too much and just let them run wild. Punish me. Okay. So, you remember everything that happened yesterday? The hand holding the plate froze midair. They're just old friends. We've been messing around like that since we were kids. Honey, I promise it will never happen again. She pulled me to the dining table and sat me down, pressing her palms together in a prayer-like gesture. I warmed up some milk for you and toasted some bread. Honey, eat first. Calm down. After you've eaten, you could decide how to deal with me. Just then, her phone rang. The name flashing on the screen was another one of her childhood friends. Her eyes met mine, then quickly darted away. I asked her, should I go to the other room to give you some privacy? Chloe forced a smile and answered the phone. The background noise on the other end sounded like a bar. Chloe, you sober yet? The pool party in 4 days. You promised. Don't you dare be late. The voice was buzzing with excitement. He lowered his voice conspiratorially. Liam put out a bounty. Whoever can get you wasted gets a fat wad of cash from him. A wave of laughter and a woman's shriek followed from the other end. Liam snatched the phone. Chloe, are you coming or not? It's our singles party. No spouses allowed. Chloe's gaze collided with mine. She quickly looked away. Hello, Chloe. You there? Don't tell me Joel's right next to you and you're too scared to talk. I smiled, took the phone from her hand, and brought it to my lips. Oh, she's listening. She's just too excited to speak. She's already trying to decide which bikini to wear. The other end of the line went dead silent. The friend who had called, his voice now an octave higher, stammered. Joel, bro, we were just kidding. Don't take it seriously. Chloe snatched the phone back and yelled into it. Get lost. And don't ever bother me with this crap again. She hung up. She held up 3 fingers. Honey, I swear I will never mess around with them again. For the next 3 days, she was on her best behavior. She came home on time and even started looking up recipes. At work, she insisted on sending me a selfie every hour to prove she wasn't out carousing. On the 4th day, another video call request from her interrupted an important online meeting. I declined it and sent a simple text. Focus on work. The second half of the sentence I deleted. A person with a clear conscience doesn't need to perform their loyalty. She quickly sent back a sticker. A cartoon kitten with tears streaming from its eyes. This wasn't Chloe's usual style. That afternoon, I had a crucial project meeting. The client had chosen a lakeside estate in the suburbs. After finalizing the details of our collaboration, I stepped out onto the terrace for some air. Through a manicured hedge, I heard a commotion from the pool area on the other side. A group of shirtless men were circled up. In the middle of the pool, a woman in a skimpy bikini was being blindfolded. It was Chloe. She spun around in the water, arms outstretched, until she finally grabbed a man. It was Liam. The crowd immediately went wild, splashing the water. Kiss her. Kiss her. A kiss is boring. Liam, didn't you say you helped her with her landscaping down there? Give us a live demo. The vulgar shouts mixed with whistles were grating. Liam held Chloe, a smug look on his face. Chloe, look at them. They're so bad trying to make me mess with you. I walked over, my face a blank mask, and pushed open a glass gate leading to the pool area. In need of professional manscaping services, I can recommend a Michelin-starred salon. First-time customers get 20% off. My voice was loud enough for everyone in the pool to hear. The noise stopped instantly. When Liam saw me, he abruptly let go of Chloe. Everyone fell silent, their expressions a mixture of shock and embarrassment. A man I didn't recognize broke the silence with a nervous laugh. Joel, what are you doing here? Chloe frantically ducked under the water, only her head visible. Then, thinking better of it, she grabbed a nearby floa tie and held it against her chest. Joel, what are you doing here? Are you following me? I stood at the edge of the pool, finding the situation almost laughable. Chloe, besides you, it's all men here. What exactly are you covering up? Are you afraid they'll see, or are you afraid I'll see? Liam and I weren't doing anything wrong. It's your own dirty mind that has to twist everything into something filthy. You want to control every single thing I do? Why don't you just chain me up at home? In the changing room, Chloe was still yelling, trying to defend herself. I sat on the sofa, quietly watching her performance. It was only when she was out of breath that she finally sat down across from me. Honey, I cut her off. Let's get a divorce. She stared at me in disbelief, her eyes widening slowly. Joel, what did you just say? I said, we're done. She lunged at me, grabbing my hand. You can't do this to me over a joke. We're married. It was just a game. Is it that serious? I looked at her without saying a word. She swallowed hard, her bravado fading. Besides, everyone was watching. What could I possibly have done? Honey, why won't you just trust me? I pried her fingers off mine one by one. Trust you? And then what? Wait for you and your friends to come up with some new exciting game for you to hand me an even bigger humiliation. The color drained from Chloe's face. The door was pushed open. Liam didn't even bother to knock. He just strolled in. "You two done talking? There's a barbecue tonight. Don't want to miss it." He walked to the bar as if he owned the place, poured himself a glass of lemonade, and looked at Chloe. "Chloe, I told him to save you your favorite barbecue wings." As for Joel, he glanced at me. "I'm sure he's not a picky eater, right?" Chloe looked mortified. "Liam, get out. This has nothing to do with you." I smiled, my voice gentle. "Actually, I am picky. I'm allergic to trash, especially the humankind." "What the hell did you just say?" Liam's face flushed crimson. He started to lunge at me, but was held back by his friends. The scene was absurdly comical. I suddenly understood why some people love being the only one in a group of the opposite sex. I turned to leave. Chloe ran after me. "The last time at the bar was humiliating enough. I'm begging you just this once. Don't leave yet. Please. We can talk when we get home." My phone vibrated. My assistant's name lit up the screen. I held the phone up for her to see. "Afraid I can't. Unlike you people, I'm actually here to make money." Putting aside the unpleasant company, the estate really was beautiful. As night fell, bonfires were lit on the lawn. The air filled with the aroma of grilled meat. Top-grade lamb chops air-freighted from New Zealand. My business partner, a meticulous British woman, had also relaxed and was enjoying herself. We had agreed on the general terms with only a few contractual details left to fine-tune. My assistant, a sharp young woman, immediately took her laptop to handle it. Soon, it was just me and the client on the lawn. Just as I raised my glass, a voice cut in. Well, so this is why you weren't hanging out with us, Joel." "Busy entertaining a special guest." Liam took out his phone and pointed the camera at me. "Chloe, look, I'm giving you a live feed. You should really learn from your husband. Juggling a career and a love life, and he still finds time for a date." His phone was practically in my face. I ignored him, turning to my client and explaining in fluent English that in a big world, you sometimes encounter all sorts of strange birds, some with exhibitionist tendencies. And I hoped she wouldn't let it spoil her evening. The client smiled and said it was no bother. Liam's face, however, twisted with rage. "Who are you calling a bird? Joel, don't think I can't understand you just because you're speaking English." Not far away, Chloe and her friends had gathered. Liam's expression immediately changed. "Chloe, if I hadn't come back, who knows how much longer he would have bullied you. He's on a date with another woman, and he has the nerve to control you. You should try controlling himself for a change." He sneered at that. Chloe's expression turned ugly. She stormed over to me. "This is your important business." I looked at her and nodded calmly. "Yes." She laughed, a bitter, angry sound. "I'm with a group of friends, including Liam, and you think it's a problem, but you're here drinking and chatting with another woman, and you expect me to believe this is work? Why can't it be?" My question left her speechless. She reached out to grab my arm. Just then, my assistant ran back, holding the revised contract. "Mr. Price, it's all done." She stopped short when she saw the scene, a look of confusion on her face. "Chloe, you're here, too." My assistant handed the folder to me. "Mr. Price, here you go. The terms have been revised according to our discussion with Ms. Smith." I looked up and scanned the circle of onlookers. The expressions on everyone's faces were priceless. I put on a professional smile and said to my client in English, "My sincerest apologies for this impromptu family drama." She took the contract from me before signing. She glanced at Liam, then told him in perfect unaccented English, "Sir, in my country, interfering with a private business negotiation and engaging in malicious slander is ground for a lawsuit." Her gaze swept coolly over Chloe's face. She signed her name and extended her hand to me. "Mr. Price, rest assured, my personal investment principles are never swayed by irrelevant noise. I have full confidence in your company's professional capabilities." Our hands clasped in a firm shake, a weight lifted from my chest. "It's a pleasure doing business with you." Chloe followed me home in her own car. The silence between us was heavy. As soon as I turned on the living room lights, she was right behind me. "I don't want to talk. After a long day of work, all I wanted was quiet." But she clearly had other plans. "What is going on between you and that blonde?" she demanded, going on the offensive. "You humiliated me in front of all those people for her. Joel, I'm your wife." I undid my tie and threw it on the sofa. "So, you shouldn't treat me like that. Liam is my friend. He could be crude, but he doesn't mean any harm. Honey." Her voice softened into a placating tone. "I know you're tired. I won't fight with you. Go take a shower. Okay, I'll draw you a bath. She started walking toward the bathroom. Don't bother, I said, stopping her. We need to talk. She stopped and turned to face me, a weary look in her eyes. I'm done with this pointless charade, I said. She seemed confused. What charade? The placating, the fighting, the making up, and then doing it all over again for the exact same reason, I said, looking straight at her. Aren't you tired? Because I am. Her face began to pale. What are you trying to say? I'm saying that from the moment you allowed Liam to say what he said at the bar, I've been asking myself one question. What question? Why did I marry you? The words hit her like a physical blow. She stumbled back. She reached for my hand, but I stepped aside. You can't say that. Her voice was trembling. I love you. We got married because we love each other, didn't we? Love. I looked at her as if she just told the funniest joke in the world. Is love letting your guy best friend humiliate your husband with the filthiest language imaginable? Is love going behind my back to a pool party where spouses are forbidden and then cuddling with another man in the water? Is love, after I've been publicly provoked, your first instinct is to rush out and accuse me of overreacting? Chloe, if that's what you call love, then your love is cheap, and I don't want it. She was rendered speechless, her lips parting and closing without a sound. After a long moment, she found her voice, but only to defend someone else. It was just a game. We were just playing. Fine, a game, I nodded. Then, let's play a game now. I took out my phone and opened the calendar. Tomorrow is Saturday. The day after is Sunday. I'm giving you 2 days to move your things out of this house. Monday morning, 9 o'clock. Meet me at the courthouse. This game is called divorce. Chloe's body went rigid. Her eyes filled with utter disbelief. You're divorcing me for a stranger. No. I corrected her. I'm doing this for myself. I will not allow my marriage to become a joke. Besides, in your heart, he's not a stranger. He's your family. She finally snapped. She grabbed a throw pillow from the sofa and hurled it at me. Joel, you bastard. I gave up so much for you. I turned down so many men who were better off than you. I learned to cook for you and you're going to divorce me because of one stupid joke Liam made. You've disappointed me so much. I didn't move. The pillow hit me with a soft thud, completely powerless, just like her accusations. I looked at her and said, enunciating every word, I'm the one who's disappointed. I once thought I had married a partner, someone worthy of respect. Now I see I just married a spoiled brat who refuses to grow up. My words completely broke her. She stood frozen for a moment, then suddenly spun around, grabbed her purse from the entryway, and ran out, sobbing. The door slammed shut behind her, and finally, the world was quiet. Over the weekend, Chloe's friends, as if by coordinated design, began a collective performance on Instagram. They posted 9 photo grids, all featuring Chloe and Liam. The first set, Liam holding a glass to Chloe's lips, her eyes hazy. The second, a strawberry ice cream cone. He licked it first, then held it out to her with a grin. Chloe, eyes downcast, obediently opened her mouth. In the animated GIF, a chorus of jeers could be heard in the background. The third, under a night sky. Liam's arm was around her shoulder, fireworks exploding behind them. The caption was just as telling. Some bonds can't be broken by time or distance. My assistant brought a file and stood by my desk for a long moment before finally speaking hesitantly. Mr. Price, are you okay? I turned off my phone screen, my face impassive. Book a flight to London for Tuesday. You're coming with me. I have more important things in my life to deal with than my feelings. This Instagram circus had already made Chloe's position clear. As for her things left at the house, I hired a local moving service to pack them up and ship them to her parents' address. Monday morning at 9 o'clock, I was standing outside the county courthouse. Half an hour later, I dialed Chloe's number. It was loud on her end, and her voice was thick with a hangover. Joel, what? Having second thoughts? I could hear a man's laughter in the background. Chloe, who is it calling to check up on you this early? At the courthouse entrance, newlyweds walked in smiling while divorcing couples walked out with grim faces. I took a deep breath. Once you're sober, come over. North District Courthouse. Bring your ID. There was a dead silence on the other end for a few seconds. The courthouse. Her voice was suddenly much clearer. You're serious? The music in the background quieted. Chloe lowered her voice. How long are you going to keep this up? You know Liam has no filter. This isn't the first time. Besides, that stuff he talked about happened before I even met you. Are you really going to be this petty? She finished with, "Don't be such a sore loser, Joel." I was silent. I glanced at my watch. 10 o'clock. I'll wait until 10 o'clock. After that, I'm filing a contested divorce. The sound of her breathing on the phone became faintly ragged. I could hear Liam's voice again. "What are you talking about? Is it ever going to end? See, I told you. Just ignore him and he'll come crawling back." All right. All right. Stop being so pathetic. He tells you to jump and you ask how high. Show some backbone. There was a muffled thud through the phone like it had been slapped against something. Then the call was disconnected. My assistant gently reminded me, "Sir, it's 9:40. We're not waiting." I recorded that call, sent it to my lawyer. "Prepare to file." She started the car immediately, letting out a breath as if a great weight had been lifted. "Yes, Mr. Price." When the plane landed at Heathrow, my phone was flooded with missed call notifications. Most were from Chloe's mother, and then a call came through. It was Chloe, her voice furious. "Where are you? Why won't my key work? Joel, what right do you have to delete my fingerprint from the lock?" My mom called. She said she got a shipment of my stuff. "You sent it. Do you have to make this so humiliating for our parents?" A light rain was falling over London. My assistant quickly opened an umbrella over my head. I spoke calmly into the phone. "I was under the impression that your disgraceful behavior didn't need my help to be broadcast to the world." The other end went silent. "If you have any further questions, you can direct them to my lawyer. Don't call me again. International calls are expensive." After I hung up, she relentlessly called back. I blocked all of her numbers. I headed straight for the hotel. After settling in, the notifications from various social media apps were making my phone overheat. My parents, her parents, they were all looking for me. Amidst the chaos, a friend request from a stranger was accepted. It was Liam. He sent a barrage of messages. "Bro, Chloe knows she was wrong. Don't be mad anymore." Honestly, that was years ago. I don't even remember what I saw when I helped her down there. Chloe's not good with words. She doesn't know how to apologize. Let me do it for her. "Bro, you there? Seriously? A grown man being this petty?" I clicked on his profile. His background photo was a new group picture of him, Chloe, and their friends. The caption was a single sentence. "Some jerks make a big deal out of nothing. Who raised them to be so entitled?" It was a childish provocation, but I had to admit, even though I had already decided to completely cut Chloe out of my life, his words successfully enraged me. I screenshotted the entire chat history and his profile, bundled them together, and sent them directly to our two family group chats. The group chat, which had been buzzing with activity moments before, fell completely, utterly silent. People of a certain status never air their dirty laundry in public. They prefer to hide the knives and stab you deeper in private. That very day, a new trending topic appeared on social media back home. Chloe seemed to be losing her mind. She kept calling me from different numbers. I didn't answer a single one. Then she started reaching out to our mutual business partners, trying to get to me through them. She knew I couldn't block everyone in the business world. On the third day, after I had rejected the nth call from an unknown number, a voice call request popped up. It was from a business associate. I accepted, but the voice on the other end was Chloe's. She didn't speak right away. After a 3-second silence, she asked in a careful tone, "Can we talk? Is there an issue with the divorce agreement?" Then she took a long, sharp breath on her end. "No, I've spoken with my family and I've had time to think about my mistakes. I admit I was too close to Liam. It made you uncomfortable, but I can swear on my life. There's absolutely nothing going on between us. You can hit me. You can yell at me. Whatever it takes for you to feel better, I'll do it." But Joel, her voice finally betrayed a genuine panic. "I never ever thought it would come to divorce." I turned to the next page of the contract in my hands. I waited until she called my name again. Uncertainly, "Joel." Only then did I shift my focus from the document. "Sorry, I was distracted. You were saying you had an issue with which clause of the agreement?" I could picture the color draining from Chloe's face on the other end of the line. She took a deep breath as if trying to regroup. I said, I put the phone on speaker, set it on the table, and stood up to pull out a chair for the client who had just walked into the conference room. My assistant began distributing materials, and the meeting officially started. Over an hour later, I picked up my phone. The call was still connected. "My apologies, Ms. Shawn, the meeting is over. You may continue." Chloe's voice sounded distant. "You never used to treat me like this." "Is that so? Joel, Liam, and I are really just friends." I cut her off. So, you're looking for a larger share of the assets in the settlement. She finally broke. How can you be so cold-blooded? I've explained it 1,000 times. Liam and I are innocent. That stuff happened before we were married. It doesn't even count. The pictures and videos you saw were all about the angle. They were just messing around. What is that proof? I paused. Then I said her full name. Chloe Sean. On the other end, even her breathing stopped. From the moment you allowed him to use that filth to humiliate me, whatever was between us died. The line was filled with nothing but static. I hung up. The battery was at 1%. My assistant immediately handed me a charger. She looked at me, her eyes shining with admiration. Mr. Price, you were so cool. I handed her the signed documents. It's not about being cool. It's about finally understanding something. What's that? Men are always told to be magnanimous, to be tolerant, to endure their partner's immaturity. But they forget that magnanimity is often met with entitlement. The only way to earn respect is to show them your line in the sand. The day I flew back, the rumors about my divorce must have been all over our social circle. A business contact trying to curry favor had arranged for 2 young women to meet me at the airport. They were beautiful, pushing my luggage cart, holding an umbrella, their perfume clinging to the air around me. My assistant was pushed far aside by the display, looking helpless. The 2 women completely ignored her, sticking to my sides like glue. As I walked out of the glass doors of the arrivals hall, I saw Chloe immediately. She was wearing sunglasses, standing out even in the crowd. When she saw the 2 women with me, her face darkened instantly. She strode over and yanked me away from them. Joel, what do you think you're doing? Weren't you on a business trip? Does that require 2 female secretaries now? I pushed her hand off. So, what if I was on a business trip? You seem to think playing games gives you a pass to cuddle up with other men. Chloe's face flushed. That one sentence shut down any rebuttal she might have had. She stared at me for a long moment. I came to take you home. Liam is gone. He went back to the UK. We're not going to see each other again. Shouldn't you be over it by now? She must have received the legal notice. But she still thought I was just angry. I looked at her. In those beautiful eyes, I saw a flicker of panic and unease. It wasn't that she didn't believe it. She didn't dare to. Even now, she was trying to smooth things over by saying he's gone. I couldn't be bothered to waste any more words on her. I turned and walked away. My lawyer will contact you about the divorce. In a bustling terminal, Chloe lost control. She threw her dignity to the wind and chased after me, grabbing my arm. Joel, wait. She must have been embarrassed because she kept her voice low, but it was thick with tears. I've already admitted I was wrong. What more do you want from me? Liam and I are just friends. We've known each other for so many years. Enough. I stopped. My patience is finally gone. I glanced back. My assistant and the 2 women had wisely kept their distance. I stared into Chloe's eyes. Don't you think that sounds ridiculous? Friends, do your friends play those kind of games with you? Do they share an ice cream cone with you? Chloe, are you still lying to me or are you just lying to yourself? My voice grew colder with every word. The pleading in her eyes just made me feel sick. She tried to grab my hand again. I violently shook her off and slapped her across the face. Chloe was completely stunned. Then I pulled off the wedding ring from my finger, the classic Cartier band we had picked out together. I held it up in front of her and then I let it go. The ring clattered on the polished floor, bouncing a few times with a series of sharp, piercing sounds. Finally, it rolled into a forgotten corner. Everyone around us stopped and stared. All the color had drained from Chloe's face as she looked at me in disbelief. Joel. I looked at her, enunciating each word. When I'm done with something, I throw it away. I got in the car. My assistant was still trembling. Mr. Price, you hit her. There are cameras all over the airport. I gave her a reassuring glance. The fire that had been burning in my chest finally felt like it had found an escape. Don't worry, the divorce isn't final. Legally, it's a domestic dispute. My assistant nodded, not quite understanding. Oh, right. You even thought of that? I turned to look out the window. Actually, I hadn't. It was an instantaneous decision. 2 years of marriage. To say there were no feelings would be a lie. The composure I'd forced myself to maintain in public was paid for with sleepless nights. So when Chloe's hand touched me again, I needed a sound, something to tell both of us that it was over. That sharp metallic ring was the period at the end of the sentence. I submitted the paperwork to the court. The case was processed quickly. This time, Chloe's parents came directly to my office. To be fair, Chloe was a lost cause, but her parents had always been very good to me. Before the wedding, they had bought a house for us, paid in full, and put only my name on the deed. They came with their heads bowed. They kept repeating that Chloe had been spoiled growing up, that she never thought before she acted. Her father spoke first. We asked her, Joel. Chloe swears that she and that Liam boy never crossed the final line. Her mother added, I never liked that kid. Even when he was little, there was something shifty in his eyes. We mothers can see right through his intentions, even if you men can't. Son, I know you've been wronged and we don't know how to make it up to you. She looked at me, testing the waters. How about we have your father-in-law add another round of investment to your project? Chloe has to contribute as a punishment to let you vent some steam. I poured them tea. The fragrance filled the quiet office. I said, Ma'am, sir, just listen to me first. My former mother-in-law cut me off. I know you're completely in the right here, but she does have you in her heart. She put in a lot of effort to win you over back then. I'll discipline her for you. I'll make her kneel and beg for your forgiveness. How does that sound? I paused, then managed a small smile. From now on, I think it's best if I just call you Mrs. Sean. She froze. The two of them exchanged a look, their voices becoming strained. Is there really no chance at all? I unlocked my phone, opened an audio file, and placed it on the desk between us. It was a voice message from Liam. Bro, don't overthink it. Chloe's skills are pretty average. Honestly, if I were really interested in her, I would have snatched her up long ago. You never would have had a chance. My former mother-in-law's face went white as a sheet. She stared blankly at the phone. A daughter who made a mistake could perhaps be excused as naive or immature, but a mother could absolutely hear the vicious humiliation laced in those words. I smiled. Sir, ma'am, instead of spending your time on me, I said, you might want to investigate what Liam's real motive is. To throw away all sense of decency to use such a low-class tactic to disgust me. There has to be a reason. The businessman's intuition kicked in. My former father-in-law's expression hardened, and he immediately stood up and walked out. Unfortunately, the truth they uncovered had nothing to do with business. In fact, it was absurd. It started at Liam's first dinner party with their old friends after he returned. After a few rounds of drinks, someone proposed a toast. Chloe used to be so obsessed with you. Now that she's married, do you think you're still on her mind? Get real. Her husband watches her like a hawk. He won't even let another man get near her. The group of men roared with laughter. Liam swirled the wine in his glass and tugged on the hair of a woman sitting next to him. Interesting whether I'm on her mind or not. Why don't we find out? Being married just makes it more fun, doesn't it? Fueled by alcohol, they made a bet on the spot. They bet on how long it would take Liam to get Chloe back into his arms. He then added a more thrilling condition himself. Just getting her in a bed was boring. The real bet was how long it would take for him to make Chloe dump her perfect husband herself. Pathetic, isn't it? My marriage was nothing more than a bet at a drunken dinner party. This wasn't just about Chloe's stupidity. It was proof of my own failed judgment. It seemed I had a lot to learn in the school of life. Chloe still refused to sign the divorce papers. Even after her parents stopped speaking up for her, she didn't show up for the court hearing. The evidence I submitted was overwhelming. She gave up her right to a defense. The court granted all of my requests. Furthermore, my lawyer had also added Liam as a co-defendant, suing him for defamation and emotional distress. The amount was exactly double their original bet. The judgment wasn't delivered that day. While I waited for the results, Chloe started showing up in my office building again, staring at me with empty eyes. Joel. She would say my name and nothing else. Is there something you need? I would glance at my watch. I have a meeting in 5 minutes. She looked as if she'd been stabbed. Suddenly, covering her face in anguish. How did things get to this point? I never wanted to divorce you, Joel. Liam wasn't like this before. He was so innocent. I walked right up to her, standing very close. I asked her softly, you enjoyed being fought over by 2 men, didn't you? Chloe, isn't this exactly what you wanted? Her eyes instantly turned red. But I never betrayed you, and for that, you deserve to have him destroy you. The day the final judgment came down, I was in London signing a new contract. From my hotel window, the River Thames glittered with the lights of the city. My assistant congratulated me on the successful deal, but she was tiptoeing around me, afraid to bring up a painful subject. Sir, she said, I know this must be hard on you. I smiled and looked at her, still getting emotional over other people's love lives. Looks like your year-end bonus will be a raise, but not a promotion. My assistant looked completely baffled. I placed a signed contract in my briefcase. Come on, I'll take you out for a nice dinner. Back home, Chloe's pleading messages were still coming in through various channels. This was why my assistant thought I was not over it. Right in front of her, I screenshotted the long messages, bundled them, and forwarded them to my lawyer. I added a note, continued harassment from ex-wife. Please organize as new evidence. My assistant's jaw dropped. I put down my phone and told her, for a man trying to make it in the business world, never make love your religion. But in all the stories I read, love is so beautiful. Her voice trailed off. She tapped her own head. All right, those are just stories. I'll never read novels during work hours again. But sir, she looked at me, her eyes wide like a curious fawn. Is there really no love in this world worth believing in? I was silent for a moment, but I answered her, there is, but it requires an extreme amount of luck. It's not something most people get to have. Liam and Chloe became the laughingstock of our circle. Someone nicknamed them the Dirty Duo. It didn't become a nationwide scandal, but wherever they went, people would recognize them, film them, and post the videos online. Liam fled the country, but he couldn't escape. There were always enthusiastic fellow countrymen who would run into him at various places. Some paid students to follow him and document his daily life. Others would just mock him with his own words. Hey, not sharing ice cream with your girl today. Professional shaver, highly recommended. Even the friends who had egged them on at the party disappeared after the bet was exposed. Chloe desperately tried to contact them, only to be met with scorn and avoidance. It was just drunk talk. Actually took it seriously. Come on, I was just joking. Who knew Liam would go that crazy over it? It's not that I won't help you, but my wife has me on a tight leash. I really don't have time for your drama. The woman who was once the center of attention was now a pariah everyone avoided. She couldn't even find someone to have a drink with. Soon, she lost the mood for drinking altogether. The summons for her second lawsuit had already been delivered.